Donegal Senior Football Championship Round 4 fixtures. Tearmann playing host to St Eunan's, two neighbouring clubs, and given the situation in the league table, Maureen, this is a big game for both sides.
Yeah, absolutely, Dermot. You know, I think we're in for a cracking game of football. Look, St Eunan's, they go 6 points if they won here this evening, so they're in a mix for a top 4 position. Tearmann, look, they're facing relegation if they lose, so their backs are really against the wall. They need to go to 4 points here this evening, so it's going to be very entertaining, Dermot.
Yeah, St Eunan's 4 points from their 3 games so far. Tearmann just the 2 points, just a victory here against Four Masters. So, as you say, given the fact it's another busy weekend of action, Maureen, it's a case of calculators at the ready, isn't it? Because so much can happen. There are so many permutations, but quite a number of big games tonight at the bottom end of the table. Yeah,
like I think for Tearmann this is an interesting one, as you say, in terms of relegation. Look, they remain on 2 points tonight. They're relying heavily on the likes of Ardra to get beat, you know, and others at the bottom of the table, Glenfin maybe moving up on a couple of points. But look, you could end up with, as you say, many permutations. You could end up with maybe 7 teams on 2 points as well after this. So, like, this is probably the big one, you know, for other teams as well to be looking at. Yeah,
interesting, busy weekend of fixtures. We're here, well into the second half now in the senior reserve game. St Eunan's leading by a goal, 1-8 to 8 points. Interesting, Maureen, because there's a strong breeze here this evening, isn't it? It's blowing down from the dressing room end, so it's actually helping Tearmann in this second half of this reserve game.
Yeah, listen, and you know that's always the choice you make. Do you go with the breeze or do you go with against the breeze, Dermot? Like maybe Tearmann want to get 1 or 2 up on St Eunan's early on, so if they take the breeze, but then you have the option maybe the breeze will die in towards the second half. We've seen that happen as well, but you've always got to factor it in. I think Tearmann will be looking to get the one this evening, particularly here in the Burn Road in Tearmann. It's going to be a big game, but St Eunan's are going to be at full strength, having all their county players back. I know they met earlier in the league and they shared the spoils, but look, we both know, Dermot, when it comes to this is a different thing. Championship, you know, people eat teams up in championship. It's a totally different affair. League, you know, Tearmann, brilliant. They won the league championship this year, or they won the league title this year. Yeah. But you know, other teams, you know yourself, the league kind of takes a back seat. Championship's the big one.
And we're waiting on team news from St Eunan's and from Tearmann. And as you say, they have already met in the league, but a very different day that day, because while Tearmann were probably at full strength, St Eunan's were far from at full strength.
Yeah, and that's it, absolutely. And you know, like, look, St Eunan's have a big venue, big wide open pitch. Tearmann have the same down here, and that suits both teams, and they sort of play the same sort of game as well. Like they're building on an opening and creating opportunities. And look, they've both forwards and both teams have players that have the ability to put over the 2 pointers, and we've seen how those change games as well. So look, we're going to weigh out the first half. Hopefully Tearmann will hold tight in the first 30 minutes and make it a cracking second half, Dermot.
Yeah, and there's plenty of interest in this fixture too. Big crowd expected here tonight morning. It should be a great occasion.
Yeah, like, you know, and there's plenty of space for spectators, and there as you can look around there's a lot of cars here already and a lot of spectators coming in, so it's going to be a very interesting battle, Dermot, one that we're looking forward to.
Okay, so that's Tearmann against St Eunan's in round 4 of the Michael Murphy Sports and Leisure Donegal Senior Championship. Throw in is at 6:30. We'll see you then.
At Michael Murphy Sports and Leisure, we cater for everyone, from top sporting athletes to relaxed casual sporting individuals and everyone in between. We also provide a large range of teamwear services and cater for schools and clubs. Orders can be customised to your specification to suit your individual needs. From clothing to equipment, we've got you covered.
It's the venue for this evening's Michael Murphy Sports and Leisure Donegal Senior Championship Round 4 meeting of Tearmann and St Eunan's neighbouring clubs. but they wouldn't meet too often at senior championship level, and given all that's at stake tonight, this is a big game for both sides. I'm joined this evening on commentary by Tearmann and former Donegal footballer Maureen O'Donnell. Maureen, first of all, Saturday evening at the Burn Road, a big crowd, senior championship, this is what it's all about.
Yeah, absolutely, and we really get down to the nitty gritty of the championship campaign now, and we're in round 4, as you say, so a lot of big games happening this evening, but a lot of big games at the bottom end of the table to decide that, Dermot. So we're looking for a very interesting battle between two neighbouring clubs, St Eunan's and Tearmann, and of course Tearmann here at the Burn Road as well won't want to be beaten this evening.
And the thing about it is, Maureen, this game's part of a busy weekend. Actually, we're just going to break off because we're having a minute's silence here, so just bear with us and we'll have a minute's silence. There you go. So that minute's silence was observed in memory of a lady called Kate O'Brien from Killygordon, who passed away, and she's an aunt of tonight's match referee Enda McFeely, so our sympathies go out to the O'Brien family on this occasion. So we're not too long away from throw-in. By the way, St Eunan's won the senior reserve fixture which preceded this match. It was a close game, a close contest right up until the end. St Eunan's won it by 2 goals and 9 points to Tearmann's 13 points, a goal in each half, helping St Eunan's to victory there. As I say, it was a close game. The win definitely a factor in that senior reserve fixture, and I would imagine, well, judging by the way the flags are blowing out in front of us, Maureen, the wind is not really easing off. It's blowing from left to right as we look down here from the media area, which is behind the dugouts here, so blowing from the dressing room end down to the other side.
Yeah, and you know what, that's going to have a real factor, especially now, particularly now in the first half. The rain has stayed off, so we don't have to contend with the slippery conditions of the ball, but certainly the wind is a factor, and we've seen that in the reserve game, you know, where the ball was just holding up in the air there, Dermot. You know, like I was in Downings last weekend, there was a gale force one and it had a huge influence in the game. So listen, whoever gets the one in the first half will probably get off to the better start, you'd imagine. Yeah,
we were just given the teams, the respective teams, just before we went live, so we're still just trying to work out who's who, etc. But it looks as if St Eunan's, their starting 15 tonight is pretty strong, pretty experienced. Sean Patton is in goal, we know that much. Kieran Moore is included at midfield as well. Shane O'Donnell is there. Conor O'Donnell Senior. Good side, Maureen. And even though they haven't really, kicked into life and kicked into full gear in terms of the senior championship campaign, they look to be well set up tonight, and this is going to be a difficult test for Tearmann.
Yeah, they do, and we talked about it as well. Meehan will want to maybe finish within the top 6. They're not particularly worried, whether they're in the top 4. They're not really worried about being in the top 4. They, in fact, believe maybe that a prelim game wouldn't do them any harm as well. St Eunan's that is, but look. Certainly all of the county players back into the mix makes it a very different game from the league game earlier on in the year, and maybe people would say St Eunan's haven't really got off that great start or haven't really been playing, but they've a huge panel of players, Dermot, and now with the county guys added into that there, it's a big ask for Tearmann, but Tearmann are at home, and look, they've proved themselves. They won the Division 1 title, they won the intermediate last year under Keelan McDade, so look, they'll definitely want to. This is a game that they really want to win here, and when their back's against the wall, a lot of things can happen. So look, a big performance maybe from Tearmann here this afternoon. So we're hoping anyway for a good game, Dermot, I suppose. Okay, well, Tearmann line out as follows: Emmett Maguire in goal. It's a full back line of Cormac Brady. Again, we'll just break off for Aran Naveen.
Okay, so back to the teams then. Tearmann will line out as follows. Emmett Maguire in goal. It's a full back line of Cormac Brady, Conor Gallagher and Oisín Cassidy. In the half back line it's Patrick Fagan wearing number 5, Conor Cassidy at centre half back and Ricky Gallagher. At midfield Kevin McGettigan is named alongside Oisín Harkin. Half forward line is John James Sweeney, Aaron Reid and Steve McDade. And at full forward line then at number 13 Darren McDade, 14 Jack Alcorn and 15 Ryan McFadden. St Eunan's then, before we get play underway here, Sean Patton in goal. It's a full back line of number 2 Peter Devine, number 3 Sean Ryan, number 4 Aaron Deeney. The half back line is the experienced Keelan Ward at number 5, Kieran Tobin at number 6 and James Kelly at number 7. At midfield is Conor O'Donnell Senior partnering Kieran Moore. In the half forward line Owen Winston, Owen McGeehan and Shane O'Donnell. And on the full forward line number 13 Conor O'Donnell Jr., Porrick Boyle and Philip Doherty. So two strong sides, two teams that know each other very well. We did mention already, Maureen, this evening that these sides met in the league, played out a draw in a very entertaining league game at O'Donnell Park a couple of months back, but that was a St Eunan's side, of course, that were without their county contingent. This is going to be a very different affair this evening. We're almost ready to get underway. Match referee Enda McFeely just saying to Conor O'Donnell Senior, just need to come over this near side. The players, the midfielders now have to be on either flank before the ball is thrown in, so we're almost ready to get up and running, and it's all set, Maureen.
Yeah, all set, and look, we've talked about this being a very exciting battle here. Tearmann are playing what they won in the first half, so they'll be looking to capitalise on that there.
So play is underway, and as I said, the wind blowing from left to right, so Tearmann have the strong breeze at their backs in this first half, and there you go, perhaps that's a sign of things to come. Ball pumped in, and well, it's Aaron Reid who, wearing number 11, playing very, very deep and close towards the St Eunan's goal, but the Letterkenny side managed to deal with that early attack from Tearmann, and it's St Eunan's who come forward down this near side. Kieran Moore making good progress inside the Tearmann 45. Isn't a chance for Conor O'Donnell Jr. First effort on goal, and well, the umpire down there signals that one has just been pulled to the left and wide.
Yeah, it took a bit of a swerve there with the wind as well, like from his striking the ball. I thought it was over, and I thought it was really, really good effort. But good first attack from St Eunan's. Again, that man Kieran, he's so pacey, Kieran Moore on the ball, like.
He certainly is. Patrick Fagan out there battling for possession. The referee comes to the aid of Tearmann with that decision, and Tearmann come forward with play themselves. The referee just says to Oisín Harkin, just go back. Even he's going to have to tell him to go back again. Oisín Harkin's a good player, good midfielder. He's had a very good league campaign. He's bright, he's confident in possession, he's very, very fit as well, gets up and down the pitch, and he'll have a big say, no doubt about it, in this game. Ball played out to this near side to Ricky Gallagher. He's going to struggle to keep that one in. He just about manages to do so, but he's very, very quickly surrounded by a couple of St Eunan's players, so Jack Alcorn is quickly over to give him a hand out, and here's Conor Cassidy, feeds the ball to Oisín Harkin. He's got options out to the far side, out to his left hand side. Options perhaps for Tearmann to maybe get an effort in on goal. They're coming in the form of Patrick Fagan. There's a ball popped over the bar. That's the opening score of the afternoon, and it's a point for Tearmann. Interesting one, because they went over to this near side, then they changed the trajectory of the attack down the left hand side, and it was Fagan that put it over in the end up. Yeah,
Fagan, a fantastic score, because it was a real tight angle, but as you say, Ricky Gallagher just made it over in this far touchline, like a ball from Oisín Harkin that the one really controlled, I think, a little bit too hard, but they've managed to get the ball across. A good attacking play, but that's the thing about Tearmann, they have their style of play. It's direct and quite aggressive, in attack.
Aaron Deeney decides to go back. He's helped out by his teammate Shane O'Donnell, who's playing deep. Aaron Deeney, again, confident player in possession. He's in no real panic to make a pass here. He's just happy to hold on to the ball and perhaps invite the challenge in. Indeed, that's what happens. So St Eunan's will come again. That's Porrick Boyle. Toe to hand. He's helped out by Kieran Tobin, captain St Eunan's to championship victory last year, of course. Kieran Tobin wearing number 6, Shane O'Donnell. Conor O'Donnell, his brother, inside, just giving him a wee option, but just runs on through, takes his man with him, so that opens up a wee bit of space for Shane O'Donnell. There's Kieran Moore in possession, playing at midfield for St Eunan's this evening. Can he get a shot away? Well, perhaps again. Took the wrong option, maybe Maureen, because I suppose the options for him to get a pass away were very much quickly wiped out by that close contact play by Tearmann.
Yeah, and a fantastic block there as well from Conor Gallagher and full back. It seems that they're very, very quick on the attack, St. Eunan's, but Tearmann very quick to close them down. They're on the attack again here.
That's a good play from Owen McGeehan. He won possession back because Tearmann just let the ball slip from their grasp for a second, and Owen McGeehan was pouncing to try and win possession back, helped out by Conor O'Donnell. Referee's going to bring it back for a free. An initial challenge, I think it may have been on McGeehan, so it's going to be an opportunity for St. Eunan's, but this one is going to be kicked into the wind, so not too sure if it's a wee bit far out for Conor O'Donnell. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's probably just a wee bit out of the range. Well, just maybe because of the wind element out there, So it'll be interesting to see where he goes. He may go short, with it.
Just over 4 minutes played here at the Burn Road in front of a big crowd. This match between two neighbouring clubs, Tearmann and St. Eunan's. And this is a fantastic venue, helped out by the wonderful club rooms that were recently opened. Here comes Conor O'Donnell Jr. It's a good strike. It's just catching on the window. Tearmann have plenty of men back there. There's a punch clear, and they will come clear down the left-hand side. And Aaron Reid again up ahead as an option, but instead Cormac Brady, he does go to. There's Oisín Harkin looking for possession. We've got John James Sweeney over here free. They see him, so John James Sweeney is a few yards in front of him to eat into. Shane O'Donnell's just squaring up to him, but ball's played in towards Jack Alcorn. Gains way out in the right hand side. St. Eunan's have plenty of men back there, but Tearmann managed to retain possession. They did ever so well to do so. Ball shot comes in from John James Sweeney, and the white flag goes up from the umpire, and that's the second score for the home side. And again, good play, a patient build up, Maureen.
Yeah, very patient build up, Dara, and that's the thing. Tearmann have got off to a very good start, but they absolutely need it. I think it's crucial, particularly with the one that they have behind their back now. It's good to see that both teams are displaying well early on.
They certainly are. St. Eunan's again, just like they did a few minutes ago, patient in their build-up, no real rush to force the issue, and Sean Ryan and Aaron Deeney just combining back inside their own 45. Shane O'Donnell proving perhaps the link man this afternoon. Shane O'Donnell, he's been closed down by Tearmann's Darren McDaid, but St. Eunan's have plenty of men here. There's Sean Ryan up helping out. Kieran Tobin now in possession. Decides not to slip the ball off to Shane O'Donnell. Holds possession himself. It's back with Conor O'Donnell Sr. And here comes Kieran Moore. So Tearmann leading by 2 points to no score. Early stages here at the Burn Road. And as we mentioned earlier on, part of a busy programme of fixtures in the Senior Championship. There are 3 more being played this evening. St. Knowles against Nadoonov, Glenfin against Ardra, and Rua Ballyshannon against Killybegs, as Kieran Moore goes on a bit of a pacey run. This time the ball's played back. And that looks a good enough effort. It's a shot comes in from Owen Winston. And that's St. Eunan's opening score. Yeah,
very, very well worked again. Look, the man that was on the end of that pass to Owen Winston there, Kieran Moore, and as I say, St. Eunan's are trying to get them on the ball on every opportunity, and why wouldn't they, Dermot, he's put on a serious stunt for County this year, but like we spoke of Shane O'Donnell too, amazing link-up player there as well for those passages of play.
Good score from Owen Winston, but Tearmann are quickly on the attack at the other end. Opportunity perhaps. Oh, it's a good block down, good piece of defensive play from Aaron Deeney. Initially it was Darren McDaid that was in there with the effort and goal. Again, there's good tackling, good defensive play for St. Eunan's, so Tearmann have to go back out. Ryan McFadden has to go back out, and again all the way back out to Oisín Harkin, so Tearmann will start again. Jack Alcorn's there close at hand. Kevin McGettigan is there too, but instead they come over to this near side to Ricky Gallagher. Ricky Gallagher's got a man outside of Conor O'Donnell Sr. Comes out to close down John James Sweeney, but John James Sweeney gets on his left foot. That's a good looking score from John James Sweeney. That's his second point of the evening. John James Sweeney has stretched Tearmann's lead out to 3 points to 1.
Yeah, no, actually he was just very, very close start there. It could have been a 2-pointer easily, but I do feel like Tearmann should try and push for some 2-pointers here in the first half, particularly with the breeze behind their back.
Okay, so there you go. That score comes with just over 8 minutes gone on the watch here at the Burn Road. Tearmann starting the game well. They are being helped by the strong breeze at their backs. There's no doubt about it. That's a big advantage. And you can only imagine what Sean Patton will do with his kickouts once he has the breeze at his back in the second half here at the... it's a very tight venue, the Burn Road. But certainly huge amount of progress, huge amount of development going on here at this venue. And... it's a real credit to everybody involved. Real credit to everybody involved. Anyway, Tearmann penalised. Foul on Sean Ryan. Just watching here the referee and the McFeely telling the St Eunan's full back Sean Ryan just where this free is going to be taken from. Oisin Harkin tasked with marking Conor O'Donnell Sr. That's well intercepted by John James Sweeney over on the far side, and here come Tearmann again. Here is Harkin. He's got men off either shoulder, just weighing up his options. Goes for the difficult pass, try to play it in towards... Well, he got to his man, Patrick Fagan, in there, but it was a difficult ball. And... I
think his intentions were very, very good. He almost got it, but McFeely seems to be pulling back the ball here for some reason. I think key for Tearmann now is to try and win while he's putting the ball over the bar, but it's also trying to win the St Eunan's kick out, turn it over, and get back on the ball again. I think possession is key in this first half.
Yes, brought way back to halfway. This free, Oisin Harkin will take it from his hands, and they'll go short. Conor Cassidy was over to help him out, so all of a sudden Tearmann are closer in to within scoring range given the wind that's at their backs. There's Ricky Gallagher, ball out to this near side, and the McFeely just saying to one of the St Eunan's players, just be careful with the challenge. Again, there's a questionable tackle comes in this time on Aaron Reid, but the referee says that's okay. There's a shot comes in, and that's a shot that's up and over the bar. Another good score this time. This time it's Ricky Gallagher with the score for Tearmann. And all of a sudden the lead is out to 3 points, and that's a well worked score. But again, this time from a difficult angle, Maureen. But he got his angles all right.
Yeah, from where we are here, Dermot, he was out of sight, so it was a really difficult angle for Ricky Gallagher. A beautiful strike and a great score, which stretches their lead out, as you say, and well deserved because they have been very patient.
It's a big kick out. Harkin got a fist to it, but it's going to be a line ball over on the far side to St Eunan's, and they're quick to get on with it. Kieran Tobin takes a lovely line ball into his chest, and he's up in support. Is he going to get a shot away? Tobin decides to go to McGeehan. Shot comes in, and it's dropped short, and the goalkeeper just about... Well, no, the umpire has gone for the green flag. Another one of those ones, Maureen. Last time I was on commentary with you, there was a controversial goal given in the match between McCool's and Glen Swilly, and that one from McGeehan looked to be dropping short. It just was going over the goalkeeper Emmett Maguire's head, and going by what the umpire's indicating, that ball crossed the line.
Yeah, listen, and McFeely isn't even really going in here to question it, but he did look like he fell behind the goals. I don't know, I can't really see it from here, and the umpires were actually in fact in behind the net as well, but look, it took him by surprise. But again, the wind certainly factored into that there. The ball kind of dropped short, and Emmett Maguire was kind of taken aback by how short it fell, and he ended up in the back of the net, Dermot. So
he was backpedaling, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And despite his best effort, he just couldn't prevent it from crossing the line. St Eunan's come again. Shane O'Donnell is there. There's a shot comes in from Conor O'Donnell Jr., but off his left foot. He's disappointed with himself. That one just goes wide of the targets. That's a second wide for St Eunan's, second wide for Conor O'Donnell Jr. But the Letterkenny men are back on level terms thanks to that very, very fortunate goal from Owen McGeehan.
Yeah, and just one kick of the game, Dermot, can change it. So as you say, we're back in level, and certainly there's a bit of intensity from both teams now. It's just started to jump at the pace.
The challenge goes in on Patrick Fagan. He's had a good start to this game. Played just over 10 minutes, or just over 12 minutes. Tearmann and St Eunan's all square. Tearmann 4 points, St Eunan's 1-1. And while the physio was going on to give Fagan some treatment, I think he's going to be okay. He took a bit of a blow to the head area, but he's waving away and saying he's all right. So Oisin Harkin can continue to play. He's got options over to his left-hand side and indeed just inside him. Jack Alcorn's close at hand. Harkin, though, just weighs up his options. So coming from deep is Conor Cassidy, but instead Harkin goes over to this near side to Ricky Gallagher. Ball in. Shane O'Donnell wasn't really watching what was happening there. Had he been watching, he might have actually been able to intercept that pass up from Gallagher. Here's a shot comes in from Dara McDaid, and that one is over the bar, up and over the crossbar. Dara McDaid with a point. So that's a good response from Tearmann. Again, can't emphasise enough, the breeze is very, very strong here. So any time a player gets into the scoring range, Maureen, up there, they're going to have a pop.
Yeah, and look, that was a great score there as well. But Tearmann absolutely need to use the wind to their advantage now in this first half, because they're going to be fighting the wind in the second half. So as I say, trying to get scores on the board, Dermot, is hugely important at every pop.
And they're working well in defence. They've only conceded the 2 scores. Unfortunately for Tearmann, one of those was that goal from Owen McGeehan. We've played just over 14 minutes here. Tearmann leading by just a single point. Tearmann 5 points. St Eunan's 1 goal and a point. There's good play. Dara McDaid off the shoulder. You heard the shout coming in from one of the supporters. Jack Alcorn with the layoff. Dara McDaid. The referee's going to give a free in here. So it's going to be an opportunity for Tearmann to wave another, or raise another white flag. Ellen McFeely just explaining to Oran Winston there exactly what that free was given for. Kieran Tobin asking as well, was it not a bit soft, referee? But no, Enda McFeely, he isn't going to change his mind. This one is just...
Well, do they ever?
No, I don't think they do.
No matter how much they dispute, they never really change their mind. So this should be a really good opportunity for Tearmann here to stay ahead.
Dara McDaid is going to kick this one from his hands. Yeah, that's okay. That's over the bar. From this angle, it was a wee bit close to this near post, but not. Dara McDaid makes it 6 points to Tearmann, a goal and a point to St Eunan's. That's 2 points in quick succession from the Tearmann number 13. And another player who's enjoying a good championship campaign as St Eunan's prepare to go along with this kick out. Shane O'Donnell's over here. And James Kelly is unmarked. Goalkeeper spots him, but it's well cut out by Aaron Reid, and Tearmann come against. Eunice haven't really got going, have they, Maureen? They're struggling with their kickouts too.
They absolutely are, and I think that's key. And Tearmann are doing exactly what they need to be doing in this first half, is winning the kickouts, scoring obviously, very little wides, and taking the opportunities, and then winning the kickouts to gain possession back.
Well, there's a shot comes in from outside the big arc, and that's a score from Jack Alcorn. Well, it's wide, but. It's wide the way the supporters were reacting. That one looked as if it was going over, but not.
And would have been a great 2-pointer as well. But listen, they can win back this kick out now, because a lot of hard work came off that one. But look, they were right to take the opportunity of a shot, try and get a 2-pointer behind them.
That's their first wide of the evening. Tearmann leading by 2 points, 6 points to 1-1. Kick out is long up towards Kelly, and this time Kieran Moore is close at hand to win the second ball. Challenge went in from Ricky Gallagher, but it's Kieran Moore that has it. And just as we say, that Moore makes so much progress up the pitch. He's so quick in possession. Here's Shane O'Donnell goes back towards James Kelly, who has Conor O'Donnell Sr. inside. So Tearmann have plenty of men back. And St Eunan's again, just the attack just slows down for a second or two, and that gives Tearmann an opportunity to get men back into positions. And Shane O'Donnell now in possession himself. Conor O'Donnell Sr. is way over on the far side. St Eunan's just trying to spread men out to create a wee bit of space. Conor O'Donnell Jr. trying to go past Jack Alcorn. He's saying, was I not held back? He questions the referee, but Conor O'Donnell Sr. has the ball outside of his right foot. The umpire likes it. Conor O'Donnell Sr. likes it, and that's another score for St Eunan's. So it's Tearmann 6 points, St Eunan's 1-2.
Yeah, and listen, that was a fantastic a bit of play by St Eunan's. You see how patient they are. They know they have the one. That's the experience as well. You know, they favour that controlled build-up play. You know, they focus on maintaining and controlling the possession and around the half-forward line, and they wait for that opportunity of an opening to take a shot, because they have multiple players who can shoot from nearly outside the arc.
And Conor O'Donnell Sr. showed there, you know, his ability to kick from distance into the wind. and he just kicked it off this outside of the right boot and up and over the crossbar. Well taken score. Oran Winston's helping out Conor O'Donnell Senior on this occasion. Played towards James Kelly. Back to Conor O'Donnell Senior. Now, as you say, Maureen, again, they're patient in their build-up. They're not in any rush. To maybe force the issue.
Yeah, and Shane O'Donnell is just over and back here at midfield. You know, they're really controlling the play out around the half-forward line on attack, and they're just waiting for the opening. That's something Tearmann need to be very careful about, you know.
Conor O'Donnell gives Shane O'Donnell the option, but O'Donnell holds on to possession. Keelan Ward over to Conor O'Donnell Jr. now. Conor O'Donnell Jr., once he gets into the scoring range, he'll have a go, as he does on this occasion. And no, another wide again. Though he's wondering, was that not over the bar? You can see his reaction down there. He can't believe that one was flagged wide. But as you say,
yeah, he seemed confident when he was kicking it too, you know, as well. But again, that one will definitely have a factor on it. It's changing the trajectory off the ball, I feel. But they'll be disappointed with that one, because here come Tearmann again.
Here come Tearmann over halfway, coming forward at pace. Oisín Cassidy over there, ball in towards John James Sweeney. And Tearmann have been good coming forward. They've made St Eunice work ever so hard in defence, and they've enjoyed plenty of joy in front of goal. Any efforts in on goal, just one wide, 6 well taken points, and Oisín Harkin feeds the ball in towards Jack Alcorn, forced to go wide because that's Sean Ryan who's working hard to close down his man. So Oisín Harkin has to come back out towards Ricky Gallagher. There's Conor Cassidy wearing number 6, playing a centre half back. Shane O'Donnell, no real rush to close him down. Happy enough, he's far enough out, he's not going to cause any trouble there. Ricky Gallagher again, this time goes past his man, and he's going to have an effort on goal, and that's a well taken score from Ricky Gallagher. So there's a situation, Maureen. That's a 2-pointer on this occasion, by the way. That's the first 2-pointer of the evening, and St Eunice showing again. Tearmann showing again that when they get into the scoring range, they've got the ability to put it over.
Yeah, and look, it's nearly the opposite. It's a kind of mirror effect. Tearmann as well, that controlled build up to play, holding on to possession, being very patient, waiting for the opportunity. Ricky Gallagher had an acre of space. St Eunice weren't really picking up their markers or their men, and really didn't push out. And what an opportunity, and he took it, and it's a brilliant score by Ricky Gallagher.
Good chasing back from Conor O'Donnell Jr. Oisín Harkin didn't see him coming. I'll tell you what, he'd need wingers, because he probably should have got a shout from a teammate. So Conor O'Donnell has stolen possession, and St Eunice all of a sudden are on the attack themselves. Now can they make it count, because O'Donnell worked so hard to win the ball back. St Eunice need to make this count. There's a ball fed into the again. Goal chance, back of the net. St Eunice, well, they can thank Conor O'Donnell Jr. for that one, Maureen. Absolutely. What a piece of play. Unselfish chasing back, one possession, stole possession, and all of a sudden within seconds it's in the net at the other end.
Yeah, and I guess that's why you call them, that's their last year's champion. They're very, very fast on the turnaround. Like, what a turn of pace. And as you say, like, brilliant turnover back here at the Tearmann, at their own 45, at their own back line, and their own half back line, up the field and the back of the net. It changes the game in this first half already, Dermot.
Well, I'll tell you, if I was Oisín Harkin, I would be so disappointed that none of my teammates gave me the warning that there was a man on. You hear it all the time, Maureen. Yeah. He's not going to be able to see what's coming behind him, and Tearmann were made pay the price.
Absolutely, and you just can't hang about and wait for the game, and you can't assume that there are nobody behind you, because you got the likes of Shane O'Donnell, who is a serious turn of pace, seriously fast, and St Eunice are very, very good at picking up that ball, and that's probably one of the big turnovers of the game there, and it ended up in the back of the net in favour of St Eunice. And Tearmann find themselves, 2-2 to 8 down here now at the minute, so
here's a free comes in from Darragh McDade, and this that's a 2-pointer. That's a 2-pointed free from Darragh McDade on the wind. He was confident. You could see him going over to get the ball once Tearmann were awarded that free. And we've spoken about this on commentary a few times this season with the new rules and everything, Maureen. St Eunice get a goal at one end, Tearmann's response is a 2-pointer, and all of a sudden the goal, it's almost wiped out.
Absolutely, and those 2 goals, I thought maybe when the first goal got in, it would be a talking point at half time. But like this is the thing about these 2-pointers, it keeps players or it keeps teams in the games. There's opportunities to close the gap a lot quicker. St. Eunan's at Tearmann were, even Stevens there, just in one moment, in one instant, you have Tearmann at 10 now and St. Eunan's at 8.
Another disappointing kick out from St. Eunan's, and Tearmann, well, they had an opportunity, but they've been robbed of possession down in the corner. Shane O'Donnell comes away from it. Again, a couple of the Tearmann players were looking at the referee, Enda McFeely, for him to maybe blow the whistle and give them a free in, but no, he wasn't having any of it. Good play from McGeehan, lays the ball off to Kelly. Late challenge comes in. Kieran Tobin plays the ball. He tried to feed the ball into Pádraig Boyle, and the referee brings it back because that was a late hit on James Kelly. It's a sore one of those ones when you're not expecting it to come, and it just hurts that wee bit more. So Enda McFeely is going to have a word with the guilty party, the Tearmann player, and there's a black card showing. Yeah, black card showing. He could have got out of the way, Maureen. That's what Enda McFeely's saying, and he just, I suppose, cynical is what you describe it.
Yeah, it was a good piece of refereeing there, to be fair, because he had awarded St. Eunan's the advantage. McGeehan nearly getting in again there as well, only for Oisin Harkin but he pulled it back then because obviously he wasn't going to take it, and we have a black card here now.
It's Aaron Reid.
It's really going to put Tearmann on the back foot as well, but he's a seriously good player as well, but that's what you have, good refereeing.
Yeah, so James Kelly, he looks to be okay. He's a big strong boy. James Kelly playing at left half back. He took the full force of Aaron Reid's shoulder into the chest area, and that allows Conor O'Donnell Jr. the opportunity to kick this free. So he's just outside the big arc, just about outside the big arc. It's a long way out, Maureen, into this stiff breeze, but here comes Conor O'Donnell Jr. wearing number 13. It's a good strike. He likes it straight away. It's a brilliant kick. Brilliant kick from Conor O'Donnell Jr. That's a 2-pointer.
Yeah, brilliant kick. Fantastic. Into that kind of one as well. It just goes to show you the force that St. Eunan's are playing with here this evening as well. But that's us even Stevens now, is it?
Yeah, well, the scoreboard doesn't say so. Down to our left-hand side, that was definitely a 2-pointer. The scoreboard has it 2-3 to St. Eunan's, 10 points to Tearmann, but we make it 2-4 to 10. We'll get that tidied up. Anyway, back to the play. Tearmann coming forward. It's Ricky Gallagher. He's had a good first half. Ricky Gallagher playing at right half back, but he's been involved in an awful lot of the good stuff that Tearmann have produced in this opening half. Ball from Oisin Harkin. Out to this near side to John James Sweeney. Goes past his man too easily, and that's hand fisted over the bar. Good score from John James Sweeney. Went past his man just a little bit too easy perhaps for the St. Eunan's liking, but John James Sweeney's a good player, and that puts them a point up.
Yeah, he's playing really well for Tearmann. I make it that his third score there, so he's really contributed to the scoreboard. But that's a thing about Tearmann as well. They've got a huge number of players who can shoot from range as well, so quite dangerous in front of goal. But they haven't really looked at scoring a goal yet, Dermot. Yeah. However close they've been, they've got in there around the box, but still no goals from Tearmann.
Match referee Enda McFeely showing the first yellow card of the evening as well. It's shown to the St. Eunan's cornerback Peter Devine. Not too sure what it was for, but remember Tearmann are playing with 14 men as we stand with McFeely's going to go now and penalise Sean Patton, not again for delaying the kick out, was he? He was just trying to slow things down, and well, Enda McFeely's saying so anyway.
Yeah, and this creates a really good opportunity for Tearmann.
Yeah, he's taking his cards out, or taking his notebook out just to perhaps tick the St. Eunan's goalkeeper. Maybe he said something to him. I don't know. But Enda McFeely is trying to explain to him what's going on there, and it's a yellow card.
A yellow card, yeah. Whatever that's about, maybe a bit of dissent. But look, we talked about this as well. St. Eunan's are struggling with them kickouts. Tearmann have won a lot of their kickouts this evening, so that's a positive, and they'll go on at half time with that positive as well. A very easy one here for Darragh McDade.
Yeah, he's kicked one 2-pointer from way out as well. Way out past the arc. This one's a lot closer. He just taps it over the bar. So it's been a first half with plenty of scores, plenty of talking points. It's been a good game. It's been interesting. It's Tearmann 12 points. St. Eunan's 2 goals and 4 points with half time fast approaching. And Tearmann will be will be happy where they're at, Maureen, but perhaps they'll want to get a couple more scores on the board before the break.
Yeah, well, you take out those 2 goals that Union's won, and Tearmann will be a lot happier going on at the break, you know.
There's a 50-50 ball. Conor O'Donnell Senior won it. He was fortunate enough to win it. Well, in fairness to him, he did ever so well. Ricky Gallagher almost got his hand. There's a big hit goes in on Peter Devine. Referee's going to give a free out for a foul on Conor O'Donnell Senior. St Eunan's can come forward now. That's Keelan Ward receives the pass from Conor O'Donnell Senior's free. Here's Oran Winston, who opened the scoring for St Eunan's this evening. It's Tearmann 12 points, St Eunan's 2 goals and 4 points. We've played just over 28 minutes here, so not too long until half time. And St Eunan's will be wanting to get into break without conceding anything more, because they'll know when they come out after the turnaround, they'll have the breeze, they'll have the wind advantage, although the wind hasn't really caused them too many problems in this first half in terms of efforts and goal. In fact, it probably helped them with that first goal.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, you know, they've been going low and hard, so they really haven't been hitting any sky-high balls.
There's Owen McGeehan. Shot comes in from Owen McGeehan. Ball over the bar. Good score from Owen McGeehan. So he's had a fairly healthy afternoon in terms of the scoreboard. He's got the 2 goals. He's got the 2 goals already, Maureen, and that's another point for him. So St Eunan's 2-5. Tearmann 12 points, just a point on it.
Yeah, listen, you know, he's very experienced in there. He has moved into full forward as well, like much of the game, like. And as you say, he's got the goals. He's well able to take a score, and he's keeping it low and hard. But St Eunan's definitely in that passage of play done better.
And that one dropped short from Ryan McFadden. He just looks round and says, I didn't have really many other options. I had to have a pop on goal. He got a good strike away, but it was always dropping short into Patton's hands. And St Eunan's are able to come away with possession now. They trail by just a single score, just a single point. Tearmann 12 points, St Eunan's 2 goals and 5 points. Conor O'Donnell Jr. plays the ball over towards Kieran Tobin over on the far side, and that's Shane O'Donnell close at hand. So St Eunan's put men inside. Porrick Boyle is in there, McGeehan is in there, and that's Conor O'Donnell Senior lays it off to McGeehan. And he puts the head down to get past the challenge of Oisín Harkin, who comes out now and tries to test Kieran Tobin. Tobin, though, is strong enough to hold on to the ball. There's a nice ball fed in, opportunity, shot comes in, and that one just is pulled to the left and wide. That was Philip Doherty with that shot. Yeah,
they'll be disappointed there. You know, brilliant vision by Shane O'Donnell just to see Philip Doherty inside. Just didn't come away with the score on that occasion. Tearmann let off.
It's good fetch.
Great fielding there.
Good fetch from Tearmann. They're going to get the free, but the referee is happy enough for play to continue. That's Kevin McGettigan. Helped out by Harkin, so they come over to this near side to Jack Alcorn. Ian over on this near touchline, just in an area of the pitch where we're kind of obstructed from the view there. But here's Alcorn again. Now all of a sudden things open up in front of him. Goal opportunity for Alcorn, goes round the goalkeeper and finishes to the back of the net, and that's just what Tearmann needed, Maureen, just before half time. Brilliant goal, brilliant finish.
Absolutely, what a cracker of a goal there from Jack Alcorn, and he had no problem sidetracking our county keeper Sean Patton there, but I think he took the option of going round him rather than hitting the ball directly at him, because he probably knows how good Sean Patton actually is, so he sidetracked him. But very, very smart and intelligent play by Jack Alcorn in this, but Tearmann had a good spot going in at half time.
Worryingly for St Eunan's though, he had so much room. No challenge went in, Maureen. He was able to run and close in on goal, close in on Patton as he came out to try and narrow the angle. There was no challenge coming from any defender.
No, that's probably the worrying thing for St Eunan's. And we talked about Tearmann not really having a goal opportunity, but they just walked it in that time, Dermot.
Conor O'Donnell Senior trying to work a response for St Eunan's. An effort comes in. The goalkeeper has to be careful, and it's in the net from St Eunan's. And the goal is awarded. It's scored by Philip Doherty. He was brave. The goalkeeper was coming out. The goalkeeper's hurt, actually. He's down. And I'll tell you, again, can we say another fortuitous goal, Maureen? Maybe that's not been fair on St Eunan's, but that was a ball that dropped in, that was dropping short, and then they managed to make something out of it.
Yeah, and was it Conor O'Donnell Senior or Junior was hit that ball in? Was it?
It was Conor O'Donnell Senior with the ball in.
That hit the ball in, and look, I've talked about it the whole time. I keep mentioning it. that ball took the keeper by surprise purely because of the wind, to say as well. There was a swerve there, the keeper went for it, Doherty went for it, and it ended up in the back of the net. Tearmann will be very disappointed going on at half time of that.
Yeah, well, they'll go in at half time leading by a point. It's Tearmann 1-12. St Eunan's 3 goals and 5 points. The St Eunan's goal scored from Owen McGeehan. He had the first goal on 12 minutes, his second goal coming on 21 minutes, and that last one from Philip Doherty right on the stroke of half time, in injury time at the end of that first half. And it cancels out that goal from Tearmann just 30 seconds beforehand. Brilliant finish from Jack Alcorn. It's been a strange game. St Eunan's have been playing into this win. We've talked about it so often. It's a huge factor in this match, but they haven't had any real trouble in terms of the scoreboard. 3 goals, Maureen. They showed that they've got it in front of goal. They've got the players that can find the back of the net. So worryingly now for Tearmann, what are they going to face in the second half?
It is worrying, but look, you said it, they do have it. They're not county champions for nothing, and they've got a range of quality players out there. I thought Tearmann did particularly well there in that first half, winning their own kickouts and winning a huge amount of those St Eunan's kickouts as well. But the wind is certainly a big factor here this afternoon, and Eunan's have done very well against it. 2 key turnovers, they've capitalised on those as well, scoring both goals and points from them. That the goal came early from a turnover here on Oisin Harkin, which he'd be annoyed about, but as you say, he didn't have very much support around him to tell him that as well. But I guess the debate now is, are Eunan's going on 1 point down or 2 points, because the scoreboard is reading something different to what we have here.
You know what, Maureen, I was just going to say, I got up on my feet there to check, and the scoreboard just was changing as I was looking. So somebody has got to the person in charge of scoreboard duties tonight to tell them what the correct score is at half time. So it is Tearmann 1 goal and 12 points. That's 15 points. St Eunan's 3 goals and 5. That's 14 points. A point ahead, Tearmann. They've played well in this first half. They've shown their worth in terms of in front of goal. They've been very impressive in terms of their score taken, but they've had all to do, even though they're leading by a point.
They do, as you say, they have been very impressive. There's been some absolutely fantastic passages of play by Tearmann, but on the other hand, there's been great passages of play as well from St Eunan's. Both teams, I think, going on at half time, they'll have a lot of questions to ask about, in different aspects of the game, how St Eunan's maybe let Tearmann and Jack Alcorn's in so close to goal to be able to sidestep around Sean Patton on that occasion. And then again as well, Emmett Maguire or the Tearmann keeper will really be feeling it, that those goals, not high quality goals, but goals nonetheless, and goals wins matches as well. And look, with the breeze that St Eunan's have been playing against, it hasn't done them a lot of harm, because, as you say, they're only going in with that tight breeze against them, and they come out in the second half now with the breeze behind them, so they're going to be very dangerous, especially because you've got Sean Patton hitting those kickouts for St Eunan's. Where is the ball not going to land? Probably up in the attacking passage of play for St Eunan's.
Yeah, okay, big crowd here at the Burden Road tonight. They've been treated to a very entertaining first half. Plenty of scores, plenty of talking points, plenty of goalmouth incident as well. Tearmann are leading at the break by 1 goal and 12 points to 3-5. We'll be back with second half commentary shortly. Options. We get an effort in on goal. They're coming in the form of Patrick Fagan. There's a ball popped over the bar. That's the opening score. St Eunan's have plenty of men back there, but Tearmann managed to retain possession. They did ever so well to do so. Ball shot comes in from John James Sweeney, and the white flag here in Moore goes on a bit of a pacey run. This time the ball's played back. That looks a good enough effort. That's a shot comes in from Owen Winston. And that's the man outside of Conor O'Donnell Sr. comes out to close down John James Sweeney, but John James Sweeney gets on his left foot. That's a good looking score from John James Sweeney. That's his second point of the evening. Just be careful with the challenge again. There's a questionable tackle comes in this time on Aaron Reid, but the referee says that's okay. There's a shot comes in, and that's a shot that's up and over the bar. And they're quick to get on with it. Kieran Tobin takes a lovely line ball into his chest, and he's up in support. Is he going to get a shot away? Tobin decides to go to McGeehan. Shot comes in and it's dropped short, and the goalkeeper just about, well, no, the umpire has gone for the green. Had he been watching, he might have actually been able to intercept that pass up from Gallagher. Here's a shot comes in from Darren McDaid, and that one is over the
to stay ahead.
Darren McDade is going to kick this one from his hands. Yeah, that's okay. That's over the bar. Going to go past Jack Alcorn. He's saying, was I not held back? He questions the referee, but Conor O'Donnell Sr. has the ball outside of his right foot. The umpire likes it. Conor O'Donnell Sr. and he's going to have an effort on goal, and that's a well-taken score from Ricky Gallagher. So there's a situation, Maureen. That's a 2-pointer on this occasion, by the way. So Conor O'Donnell has stolen possession, and St Eunan's all of a sudden are on the attack themselves. Now can they make it count? Because O'Donnell worked so hard to win the ball back. St Eunan's need to make this count. There's a ball fed into McGeehan. Goal chance, back of the net.
Here now at the minute, so like
here's a free comes in from Darren McDade. And this is that's a 2-pointer. That's a 2. Maureen into this stiff breeze, but here comes Conor O'Donnell Jr. wearing number 13. It's a good strike. He likes it straight away. So in this opening half, ball from Oisin Harkin out to this near side to John James Sweeney. Goes past his man too easily. And that's hand fisted over the bar.
They've been going low and hard, so they really haven't been hitting any sky-high balls.
There's Owen McGeehan. Shot comes in from Owen McGeehan. Ball over the bar. Over to this near side to Jack Alcorn. Ian over on this near touchline, just in an area of the pitch where we're kind of obstructed from the view there. But here's Alcorn again. Now all of a sudden things open up in front of him. Goal opportunity for Alcorn. Goes round the goalkeeper and finishes to the back.
The worrying thing for St Eunan's, and we talked about Tearmann not really having a goal opportunity, but they just walked it in that time, Dermot.
Conor O'Donnell Sr. trying to work a response for St Eunan's. An effort comes in. The goalkeeper has to be careful, and it's in the net from St Eunan's. And the goal is a...
At Michael Murphy Sports and Leisure, we cater for everyone, from top sporting athletes to relaxed casual sporting individuals and everyone in between. We also provide a large range of teamwear services and cater for schools and clubs. Orders can be customised to your specification to suit your individual needs. From clothing to equipment, we've got you covered.
And you're welcome back to the Burn Road, where we're waiting on both teams to come back out onto the pitch for the second half. The match referee, Enda McFeely, has blown his whistle twice already to try and get them going, get them back out onto the pitch. This match, one of 4 games in the Senior Championship being played this evening, and we were trying to get updates on what was happening elsewhere. We can tell you that Rua against Killybegs is all square down in Ballyshannon at the break. Father Tierney Park, the venue for this one. Rua 2 goals and 6 points. Killybegs 2 goals and 6 points. Glenfin against Ardra is one of the other matches. Maureen, I think you might have a wee bit more information about what's going on in that one. St. Knowles against Nadoonov. We're trying to get some...
I think Downies are 2 up. And I think Glenfin are winning at home there against Ardra. So
okay, well, there come Tearmann back out for the second half, and it's we did mention it earlier on as well, the way the league table set up going into this final weekend of fixtures in the Senior Championship. Everybody's going to be kind of watching what's happening elsewhere, because there's so many things that could happen in terms of the 4 sides finishing bottom of the table and going into the relegation semi-finals. Then it's the teams from places 5 to 12 will go into the preliminary quarterfinals, which will be played next weekend. And as it stands, Tearmann are okay to finish in the top 12, let's say that, but that's the situation. They've the 2 points going into tonight's fixture. They're leading by a point in this one, Maureen. Now, a long way to go here, of course, but they're looking over their shoulder, aren't they? Because Ardra level with them on 2 points. St. Knowles, Rua, Glenfin, they're all capable of catching Tearmann, so it could be a good evening for Tearmann. They could end up in the bottom 4.
Yeah, listen, as I say, we talked about so many different permutations here. You know, you couldn't calculate them all, but look, if Tearmann were to lose here, and Ardra are currently losing to Glenfin, I think, Tearmann could be okay pending score difference. You just don't know. There's just so many possibilities, but as I said, after today's games, there are possibility of 17's being in 2 points, but look, with Downing's up, they'll go to 4, and Killybegs up, they'll go to 4. So listen, it's just hard to know, but where we are currently here, Tearmann need the one more than St. Eunan's, Dermot. So they have it all to do in the second half now, coming out here against this breeze, and let's see what they have to offer and have to show against the breeze.
Just looking as well, Tearmann are still down to 14, aren't they, because of that black card?
Yeah, and Aaron Reid went off with 5 minutes left in normal time in the first half, and I think he played about 2 minutes extra, so
okay,
he should be on.
So we're up and running again for the second half. Tearmann win possession following the second half throw up, and that's good play from Oisín Harkin. He's had a very, very good game, very good championship as well. The midfielder for Tearmann, wearing number 8 this evening, and he's easy to pick out because of his white boots as well. So he's in possession again. I'll just look to see how St. Eunan's set themselves up for this second half. We were just wondering about the way you set up, Maureen, when you're playing with the one that you're back in terms of defence, and then when you've got when you're playing into the one, it's completely different, isn't it? And we'll just stay with possession here for now. Opportunity perhaps for Tearmann. They're going to get a free, whatever happens with this effort from Ryan McFadden. The referee's going to bring it back for a free, penalising Keelan Ward for a tug on the Tearmann man. So it'll be a free kick inside the D.
Yeah, you'd imagine Darren McDade will, put this over, to stretch the gap to 2, but a good start for Tearmann, to be honest. They're very level-headed there, kept the ball, kept the play, and a very intelligent piece of play as well from Oisin Harkin. Look, we mentioned Ryan McFadden, was it? He's a key player in Tearmann's success all year, so it's good to see him on the ball, and hope to see a bit more from him. But there's possibly another score, Dermot, here just inside the arc.
Darren McDade is going to kick this one from the ground. This time here comes left-footed. It's not the best strike. He didn't get anything like the power that he wanted on that one, and it drifted wide of the target. So
disappointed probably not to get that, just to settle him down in this first half and stretch the lead to 2 as well. But that one playing a huge factor, because very intelligent player and very good at those spot kicks as well.
So here comes the kick out from Sean Patton, first of the second half. Decides not to go long, just pings one out to this near side, straight into the arms of Owen Winston. We could see that Owen Winston was free. Sean Patton eventually spotted him just down below us here on commentary, and St Eunan's are able to come forward with possession over on the far side. It's Shane O'Donnell. Conor O'Donnell Jr. is there close at hand. Now, expect Conor O'Donnell Jr. once he gets the range, gets inside the range to shoot, he'll let efforts go on goal. But anyway, here's Conor O'Donnell Sr. This time he has a pop. How do we look? Happy with the shot, and this time Enda McFeely just indicating to the umpire that it was just inside the big arc. So that's just a point for Conor O'Donnell Sr. A well taken score. Yeah, very, very good. And look, very patient build up again by St Eunan's with the one. But as you say, they're going to be dangerous, very, very dangerous, just outside that arc. And Tearmann will really need to press out on St Eunan's to prevent them from taking those spot kicks, those shots. Good play from Owen Winston again. He saw that pass was going to be loose towards Ryan McFadden, and he almost stole possession back, although St Eunan's were guilty of conceding a free. So there's going to be a man that's going to need a wee bit of attention. Just to let you know what's happening elsewhere. Killybakes have enjoyed a good start to the second half down in Ballyshannon. It was level at the break at Father Tierney Park, 2-6 to 2-6. But there have been a couple more goals in the early stages of the second half. So Killybakes now leading by 3 goals and 9 points to Arua's 3 goals and 6 points. Remember, Killybakes well placed going into tonight's games. They had 2 points from their opening 3 matches, and they will know that another victory tonight will mean they won't finish in the bottom 4, and they'll be comfortably into the preliminary quarter-finals, which will be played next weekend. So Oisin Harkin has the free, and that's good showing from Jack Alcorn out ahead of his man Keelan Ward. Jack Alcorn, the pass in from Harkin was straight into Jack Alcorn's mid-drift, so he's able to take possession, and Tearmann are able to come down that right-hand side, and it's Ricky Gallagher. Ricky Gallagher, though, just runs out of room, just runs out of options, and St Eunan's are able to come forward. James Kelly is quickly helped out by Shane O'Donnell. Kieran Tobin is busting the gut to get up beside him. Kieran Tobin could get an effort on goal here, but he decides to go to Conor O'Donnell Jr. Goes past his man off his left foot, likes it. Shot comes in, and that's up and over the crossbar. So Conor O'Donnell Sr. and Conor O'Donnell Jr., the men who have got on the mark in the early stages of the second half. And all of a sudden St Eunan's are out in front. They lead by 3 goals and 7 points, which is 16 points to Tearmann's 1 goal and 12 points, as St Eunan's prepare to make a change, the first substitution of the evening. Look how quick on the turn of pace, like from that turnover that they were, as you say, Kieran Tobin getting on the end of that there, busted a gut to get up there to assist in that there, and look, a great score in the end, a 1-pointer, but it stretches their lead out 3-7 to 1-12, and Tearmann really haven't got a point to settle them down yet, Dermot. And Anthony Gallagher is coming in, and it's Pádraig McGettigan coming in for St Eunan's. Early stages of the second half, just 5 minutes played. And it's worth mentioning as well that Aaron Reid is back on the field as well, so Tearmann back to 14 as well, which is well needed really, as St Eunan's go on this attack again. So St Eunan's coming forward. This is Conor O'Donnell Jr. outside the big arc this time, but that one drops short into the hands of the Tearmann goalkeeper Emmett Maguire. He dealt with it ever so well, because St Eunan's were closing in to try and put him under a wee bit of pressure. Oisin Harkin loses possession. Tackle came in from Conor O'Donnell Jr. and St Eunan's will try and make this one count. Yeah, there you go. That's how you do it, over the bar from Kieran Moore. Just Units were they just were waiting on Tearmann, to inviting them to make a mistake, and unfortunately for Oisín Harkin, he was quickly closed down, and St Eunan's once again made them pay.
And you cannot make mistakes like that, like we looked at the turnover from Oisín Harkin here, like I think it was Shane O'Donnell in the first half that led to the goal, and like again another turnover just leads to a very easy point, Dermot. And this is the kind of thing, like St Eunan's have been on possession here now for the best part of this half, and they've been capitalising on them with their scores.
Pádraig McGettigan is an option inside. He's playing in front of the goal, but St Eunan's just decide just for now just to hold on to possession. Shane O'Donnell, is he going to have a pop on goal? Trying to close him down and make sure that he doesn't. Kevin McGettigan was there. There comes Kieran Moore. Likes the look of it again. And it's another score for Kieran Moore.
Inside the arc as well, so I think it's a 1 pointer.
Yeah, just inside the arc. But that's his second score in quick succession. And St Eunan's, you've got to give them credit, Maureen. They kind of just sucked up all the pressure in that first half and stayed in touch with Tearmann. But come the turnaround, they've kicked the opening 4 points of the second half, and they now lead 3-9 to 112.
Yeah, 4 scores within 6 minutes, and it just goes to show you that they're here to win, they're here to take a victory, they're doing everything that they can, and to be fair, they've had the majority of the possession and have, as I say, like they're capitalising on it as well. Like
the referee has spotted an off-the-ball incident involving the St Eunan's substitute Anthony Gallagher there. A challenge on Ryan McFadden.
He seemed to push him, so...
Well, McFadden ended up on the ground. The referee's going to have a word with Gallagher, shows him a yellow card. It's going to be a free in to Tearmann. Now remember, Darragh McDaid had an opportunity...
Similar to this?
Yeah. Not too long into the second half. He kicked from the ground on that occasion. This time he's going to kick from the ground again, just on the edge of the D. It's not an easy one by any manner of means. I'll tell you, in fairness to Conor Cassidy, he gave him an option there if he wanted to go short, but Darragh McDaid is concentrating and he's going to try and get this strike away. And this is an important kick for Darragh McDaid just to keep Tearmann in touch as St Eunan's threaten to move away. But no, this one drifts wide of the right hand post. It's a tough free, Maureen, into the wind, but Conor O'Donnell Jr. showed in the first half that he's got the ability to kick, and he kicked from distance into that wind. Just not happening for Darragh McDaid at the start of the second half.
Yeah, it just seemed to curl out to the right of the clubhouse side and wide, and look, Tearmann will be very, very disappointed not to have got those 2 scores. The Eunan's are they've scored the last 4 points. Tearmann really need a score here, Dermot.
Cormac Brady did ever so well to get ahead of his man, the Tearmann fullback. Those are the challenges that Tearmann need to be winning, because it's been difficult at the start of the second half. Here is Cormac Brady. Takes the free short and gives it back to Conor Cassidy, who goes over to the right hand side. So Tearmann will come down that flank with Ricky Gallagher. Just feeds the pass in towards Jack Alcorn. He's got Keelan Ward close at hand. There's Darragh McDaid. Look at that, quickly surrounded by 3-4 St Eunan's players, and they come away with the ball, stolen by Keelan Ward, and St Eunan's will come forward over halfway. Conor O'Donnell Senior, they're bursting forward at pace again. Kieran Tobin is going to have to scramble to pick up possession. Oisín Harkin comes over to challenge. Kieran Tobin just kicks the pass down towards McGeehan, down close to the end line. McGeehan is closed down by a couple of Tearmann players, so referee saying, oh, go ahead. Is he going to give a free in? He is, despite the fact that the shot came in from Warren Winston.
It's probably just as well, because it's just wide up the left hand side.
It's wide. Oisín Cassidy was there, the Tearmann corner back. I'm not too sure who it was that was the guilty party. The referee's got his notepad out, perhaps just putting a little tick in there beside somebody's name. But it's going to be an opportunity for the St Eunan's, one of the St Eunan's substitutes, Pádraig McGettigan, perhaps to have an effort on goal. It's hard to see. We just can't see down in that corner.
Well, you can see better than me, Dermot. You think?
Just where we're set up here in the media area down at the Burn Road. In fairness, we've been well looked after this evening, and a fantastic venue with the new club rooms down here. It's a real credit to everybody involved, and that's a good score from Warren Winston. So has 5 points at the start of the second half without reply for St Eunan's. Owen Winston just went short there for that free kick taken by McGettigan. It's St Eunan's 3 goals and 10 points. Tearmann 1 goal and 12. Tearmann have it all to do, Maureen.
Yeah, they certainly do. And look, St Eunan's seem to be stretching their lead at every opportunity. And we said that this might happen with the breeze behind their back. You know, they just needed to sort of play out the first half as best they could, but they did it even better than that by getting those goals. And maybe unfortunate for Tearmann those kind of goals went in, but the scoreboard would definitely read a little bit different. But look, you got to give credit to St Eunan's coming down here, and you know, they played very wise football I think in the first half against that breeze. And you know, they're just wearing Tearmann down here at the minute, you know, and Tearmann's still looking for a score. You know, haven't scored since they come out in the second half. That's worrying.
Yeah, by the way, Naomh Adhamhnain is named among the subs tonight for St Eunan's. Whether he'll feature or not is another question, but he's not a bad man to have in your ranks to come in if need be. But St Eunan's will probably be looking at a place in the straight into the quarter-finals, Maureen, if things stay as they are now. We did chat about this before as well. It doesn't always mean that's going to work in your favour, because remember last year Glenswilly straight into the quarter-finals ended up getting a draw against Dunloe, who went all the way to the final. So while Glenswilly got a week's break from the group stages into the quarter-finals, they ended up losing in the last stage.
Yeah, so like, you know, it's just hard to tell from one year to the next, but that's what makes the whole competition you know, so different and so exciting as well. But like, as I say, Barry Meehan is not really worried about the fact that he's getting in maybe to the top 6. A win here will push them to 6, as you say. Maybe a chance to fall within the top 4, depending on other outcomes, as you say. But like, they'll relish probably the opportunity of a prelim as well, because like, let's be honest, they haven't played any of the harder teams like they've played last year at those stages in the first rounds of the championship. So look, I feel like another good game for St Eunan's is probably what they need. Yeah,
remember there were eyebrows raised when they lost their opening fixture against Kilcar at home. Lost by 3 points that day, but they've responded with a good victory away to Arua. A hard-earned victory at home to St Knowles, maybe harder than what people expected. They ended up winning by 4 points, 115 to 14 points, as Tearmann win themselves a free over on the far side. And it looks as if St Eunan's look to be on their way to another victory, so that'll be 3 wins on the bounce. A good response after that opening day defeat for Tearmann then, Maureen. Their run of results so far: a loss against Killybegs, victory here against Four Masters as they're trying to work themselves a goal opening down to our left hand side. But again, St Eunan's are tigerish in defence, and that's young Owen Winston back there winning possession back, helped out by Kieran Tobin, so St Eunan's will come away with the ball. But yeah, Tearmann losing against Killybegs, losing against St Michael's, both matches away from home. They beat Four Masters here, but Maureen, you said it to me off camera. Tearmann's record here in the senior championship after Burn Road hasn't really been all that impressive.
Yeah, and like, look, I think they'll be kicking themselves. It's not really like, look, very unfortunate. Someone was going to draw St Eunan's, like, and probably Tearmann would have preferred anybody else but St Eunan's in this round 4 game, you know, especially when their backs against the wall. But I said it before to maybe Brendan Devaney as well, that the early rounds, the early game stage, the early stages of the championship are very, very important and prove to be very important for the teams like that are close to relegation. They need to be winning the early stages when they can. Like, I think Tearmann will be very disappointed that they didn't come away with a victory, particularly against St Michael's down at the bridge.
Yeah, Arndini there did ever so well to set things going in terms of this attack for St Eunan's. So here's Gallagher, has an effort on goal. That's a well-taken score from the player that came off the bench 5 minutes into the second half. So he adds to the St Eunan's account. That stretches the lead out to St Eunan's 3 goals and 11 points. Tearmann 1 goal and 12 points. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 unanswered scores, Maureen. And
no scores from Tearmann at all in this. Like Darragh McDade obviously had them 2 opportunities, but you know, off spot kicks, and unlike him to not capitalise on them either. But St Eunan's are just happy enough to chip away at the scoreboard here, you know, and get on the ball. And I think for St Eunan's it's all about, you know, trying to get a team going forward to gel, as you say. Like some of the county players, they've only come back. I think Shane O'Donnell there just back in for the St Noel's game. Maybe Kieran Moore maybe and Naomh Adhamhnain before that, like, but just filtering back into that side, and they're trying to get a team, you know, to go forward now in this championship. That's what it's all about.
Number 20's in for Tearmann. I think that's Kieran Cassidy going by the team sheets. He has come on in place of Steve McDade. We've reached the midway point of the second half. Just to update you on what's happening elsewhere. Glen Finn against Ardra, and it's an interesting fixture, this one at Park Tuivoiga. Glen Finn 1 goal and 11 points. Ardra 8 points is the latest score in that one. And down in Ballyshannon, Arua 3 goals and 8 points. Killybegs 4 goals and 10 points. A win for Glen Finn would certainly be interesting. They would move on to 2 points. They haven't managed to pick up any points so far. They actually sit bottom of the table, bottom of the standings given the score average. But they would move ahead of Arua. They'd move ahead of St Noel's on the head-to-head with Ardra. They'd move ahead of Ardra. But what would that mean in terms of Tearmann? I suppose score average might come into play here as well, Maureen. It's all a case of ifs, buts and maybes.
Yeah, and you know what, like, that's really, really interesting. I would have called Ardra to win that game, you know. I definitely would have said Killybegs will beat our Arua. But look, somebody says to me, Arua very impressive against Kildare down in Mahargallen as well. Not an easy place to go down and play Kildare, so, you know, like, that's not over yet. But certainly a hell of a lot of headaches for whoever's on these, totting up the calculations for the bottom four.
Yeah, we still just haven't got any update from St Noel's against Nadoonov down at Jared Gallagher Memorial Park down in Mount Charles. Here come Tearmann down the left hand side. They really need to engineer an effort on goal. Good ball in. There's an opportunity perhaps, and it's well, it was a goal opportunity just for a second, but it's up and over the bar from Kieran Cassidy with the score for Tearmann. So that's their opening score of this second half. We've had to wait a while for that. They were so prolific in front of goal in the first half, but that point just keeps them in touch. St Eunan's sitting on 3-11, that's 20 points. Tearmann 1 goal and 13, that's 16 points, so just the 4 points in it.
Yeah, nice. You know, like, it's not too bad, and certainly we've seen teams come back from bigger gaps, particularly with these 2 pointers, but I feel that the one might be a big influence on that there. But look, if Tearmann get going at all, they need to start winning these kickouts as well. Look, Sean Patton's just easily hitting out there, and St Eunan's are very happy to take the ball even in their own backline and work it up. But look, Shane O'Donnell has been immense this evening. He's really been the link man for St Eunan's, I feel, Dermot.
It's a wee bit sloppy from St Eunan's. They struggled to retain possession. Their ball was played in towards Kelly, but the ball deceived them, and St Eunan's or Tearmann are able to come away with it. Harkin, as he has been so often tonight, very much involved in the thick of the action. That's a great pass out towards Cassidy over on the far side. He made himself available. He was fed possession, and he's made good ground up ahead of him. Can Tearmann muster another goal chance? His shot comes in, it's saved by Patton, but another opportunity perhaps. Tackle goes in, questions, is that a foul in front of goal? And the McFeely says no, so there's a bit of a schmozzle in front of goal. St Eunan's are going to come away with it, and they managed to deal with that situation. Goal chance there just for a second, and it was a shot from was it Ryan McFadden?
Jack, I think Jack was it maybe Ryan McFadden actually. It was Jack Alcorn who did all the hard work there, you know. Yeah. And I'm surprised Tearmann haven't got him on the ball a lot more, particularly after that beautiful goal that he took in the first half where he rounded Sean Patton. But Sean Patton got a hand at there, to be fair, and good defending by St Eunan's. Yeah, there was
perhaps an option inside as well. I think there was a man in a better position had the ball been played across goal. But anyway, Tearmann will come again. Harkin just feeds the ball into Alcorn this time. Kieran Tobin comes out and challenges him, so Alcorn has to decide against having a pop and goal. But they will have an effort here, and that's a score. That's a point for Tearmann. I think that's John James Sweeney over on the far side. John James,
John James, that's his fourth, I think.
Good score.
Yeah,
so
good score and well worked as well. And look, maybe Tearmann's having a bit of a purple patch, but certainly better play from Tearmann here now. Getting on the ball, retaining possession, waiting for the opening, and slotting the ball. Maybe they've got the grips with this breeze.
And the introduction of Cassidy over there has certainly helped matters as well. Kieran Cassidy. Anyway, Sean Patton fans getting a little bit impatient with Sean Patton, but he has to go and get the football. There's nothing much he can do about that. By the way, latest score from that match down in Mount Charles, St. Naomh's 14 points, Naduna 14 points. They're all square in that one. Both teams could do with a win, to be honest. Just looking at the league table, and Glenfin are leading against Ardra, but as far as we know, they're down to 14 men. A red card for Jared Ward, that's what we're hearing, as play continues here at the Burn Road. And Tearmann again trying to work a wee bit of room. Harkin decides to go over to the far side. Darkness beginning to descend here as well, Maureen. We've noticed that. The evenings are getting so much shorter,
aren't they? And just that darkness creeping in, and no floodlights here to support us, really.
Good play from Ricky Gallagher. St. Eunan's are out there in numbers. They're defending, they're working hard. That's a good piece of defensive play by Kieran Moore. Forces Tearmann to go back. Shot comes in from Oisín Harkin. He's a long way out, and once it left his boot, he knew that he'd possibly taken the wrong option there.
Yeah, look, that was a big call. He was outside the arc, but against that breeze, possibly the wrong option, I feel, in that case. And look, St. Eunan's will be happy to just have possession here, have the ball in the arms of Sean Patton, and no doubt go to a Eunan's player, and they'll regain possession. He's not in any hurry to hit it out either, and why would he be? There's 3 points of difference now here. Not bad from Tearmann, certainly. They've got on the ball there and got a bit of possession back.
Yeah, and they're preparing to make a change down in front of us here. Our St. Eunan's, Kevin Keeley is going to come on, big strong strapping player. They're just waiting to get the nod from Enda McFeely, who says to his linesman here on this near side, Pat Barrett, yeah, go ahead, make the change. So Kevin Keeley comes on, just watching to see who's going to come off over on the far side. Yes, the substitute, is it McGettigan?
Yeah, I think he might have got injured there, he might have picked up something.
Yeah, Pádraig McGettigan over on the far side has gone off.
Also, Tearmann have been playing with Bobby McGettigan this evening as well. A huge loss. He picked up an injury maybe in, the St. Michael's match, and hasn't really got back. Fantastic play there. Yeah,
class piece of play from Patrick Fagan. Again, he's been really good playing at right half back. Kieran Moore looked favourite just to fetch that one out of the air, but Fagan came up and did what a defender does well. He just nicked the ball out of Kieran Moore's grasp, and Tearmann come forward. So what can they do? Remember, it's 3-11 to 1-14. There's 3 points between the sides as we enter the closing 7 minutes here at the Burn Road in Tearmann in front of a big crowd. It's a cold evening. There's coats on, there's hats on among the spectators. We have the coats on here as well in the press area, as St. Eunan's now have a wee bit of defensive work to do. That's a sloppy sideline ball, but Harkin manages to make something of it, so he kicks the ball over to the far side, and Tearmann will come down this right hand side. Cormac Brady just feeds the ball up towards John James Sweeney. Hand pass in towards Cassidy. It's not a great ball. Cassidy had to try and do his best with it, but it just came off his boot, and St. Eunan's, you're not going to get away with that one when you've got that many men back there defending. Is the referee happy to let play to continue? He is. Have Tearmann won it back? They have. So it was Gallagher that was quickly closed down there. So while St. Eunan's did well to win the ball back, they've lost it again, which will frustrate Barry Meehan and his management team. They had a score. Glenfin 2-12, Ardra 12 points. Glenfin playing with 14 men in the closing stages at Park Tivoiga. Will Glenfin end their group campaign, their group run of fixtures, with an all-important win? And that will be disappointing for Ardra, because as you said, Maureen, all they had to do was go there and win, and they knew that they'd be in a preliminary quarter-final next weekend.
Yeah, for sure. I think Ardra had the better of the draws, having been faced with Glenfin on no points. But look, there's always a shocker every year, Darren, which I feel like, has Ryan McFadden just got a card there? He's just got a black card, yeah. So that's Ryan McFadden for Tearmann into the sun, but that's not a very good outcome for Tearmann in the late stages of this half, Darren, which I feel just probably not the best result there.
Yeah, that's disappointing. St. Eunan's are preparing another change as well down in front of us. We'll just confirm this substitute as well once we see it's a black card for McFadden of Tearmann. Yeah. So as you say, Maureen, 3 points in it.
just gives another leg up to St Eunan's, because Tearmann have been working hard in the second half of the second half, the latter stages. It's a pity, and probably will be disappointed not to have a few more scores on the board. But I feel like St Eunan's could probably, just if they hold on and retain possession here, maybe get another 2-pointer behind them. Like Kieran Moore is searing up the field here, and I feel like they will look to try and have a 2-pointer here now to stretch their lead out.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, the light is dropping very, very quickly here as the minutes tick down towards full time. And we'll just try and keep you updated on what's happening elsewhere. Glenfin leading by 12 to 12 points. The suggestion is that Glenfin might need to win that match by 7 points. If teams end up on the same number of points, score average will come into play. At Father Tierney Park, latest score, Arua 3-10, Killybegs 4-12. So Killybegs still in front in that game as St Eunan's come forward. That's an opportunity for McGeehan, and he's not going to make any mistake in front of goal when he gets that close to goal. It's an important score for St Eunan's, because Tearmann had scored, they'd scored the last 2 scores, but had been enjoying a good spell, Maureen. But it's now 3-12 to 1-14. So McGeehan's score important at that late stage of the game. Yeah,
3-12 for St Eunan's, but that's McGeehan on 2-2. He's been very influential for the Eunan's side this evening here at the Burn Road, and as I say, they're just happy enough to chip away at the scoreboard and put a few. Eunan's are very, very good and very, very clever in retaining possession, and we've seen it here through the likes of Kieran Moore and through the likes of Shane O'Donnell, Conor O'Donnell Senior. The experience really coming, and even the turnovers. Defensively, they've been doing good. They've boxed Tearmann in very tight in the second half, and they've turned them over.
They certainly have. So Tearmann come again. They're trailing by 4 points as the challenge goes in for possession on midfield, but Ricky Gallagher is the man that picks up the second ball and bursts forward. You look at St Eunan's, how hard they're working when not in possession. Kieran Tobin just lets his man know that he's there. And I tell you what, that's good play from Conor Cassidy in the end, because he was under real pressure from Philip Doherty of St Eunan's, but Tearmann just about managed to hold on to the ball. Here's Harkin. He's got Cassidy inside. He's got Ricky Gallagher over this near side. He sees him and he goes for him. Tearmann making a couple of changes as well. And
Steve McDade, I think, is on the field now, yeah.
Steve McDade is on. And another change as well there as well. But anyway, we'll stick with the play. Is that going to be a free out to St Eunan's in their right corner back position?
It is, yeah. But interesting note, 4 points down, 2-pointers from Tearmann. A big ask, obviously, but look, stranger things have happened as well. But, I feel like it's very hard to even get a shot off in there, because Eunan's have been defensively solid in the second half.
So that's Kevin Keeley back there. First piece of possession for the St Eunan's second half substitute. And St Eunan's have got so much strength and depth coming off the bench, haven't they, Maureen? So many options for them. Here's Keeley, Conor O'Donnell Senior. Had a quieter second half. He was very much involved in the first half with Conor O'Donnell Jr. Again, another good game from the St Eunan's number 13. Just feeds the ball over to Conor O'Donnell Senior here. So St Noel's, we're hearing, have beaten Nadoonhnaigh in their match down in Mount Charles. St Noel's have beaten Nadoonhnaigh, and that will move them on to 2 points. So again, the league table is going to be very, very interesting after all of this. They'll move level on points with Tearmann. There's a long range effort from Shane O'Donnell, but that one just drifts wide and over the end line.
Not like, Shane O'Donnell, he rarely takes a shot. He's always sort of a link player. He works very well out here between the 60-yard line and the 45-yard line, and he picks up a lot of balls, on a lot of ball, over and back, and very, very good fast turn of pace as well. But he is notable for scoring as well. It's not like he can't, but he very rarely takes the option of a kick.
St Eunan's come forward again. Here's McGeehan. I suppose at this late stage too, Maureen, we can maybe have a wee think about who we're going to name as our man of the match. We've played 27 and a half minutes, not long to go. Tearmann come forward. Oh, that's a good piece of play. Again, nicely Nice piece of defensive play
We're
from
lucky to
St.
get
Eunice.
that one now, I feel.
They were working hard to get back. They were working hard to get back, but they did manage to do so, and that's a fortunate free for Tearmann. But anyway, they're in possession. Here's their centre half back, Cassidy. They need a goal, don't they, Maureen? They need a goal
they
at this
really
late stage. Remember, these sides played out a very, very entertaining draw at O'Donnell Park in the league, a match where Tearmann were leading for the vast majority of the game. St. Eunice got a couple of late scores, and all of a sudden they went in front coming up to the full-time whistle before Tearmann struck for a late goal of their own, and the match ended all square. There's a ball in. Ball in from Doherty. Just evades.
Just slipped, McGeehan's reach there, but they were that was another opportunity of a good score, well spotted as well, and a good piece of play. But look, well done. Tearmann are on the ball here again. Not very much. I'd say we're into injury time here, and I feel, look, St. Eunice are just happy to box them and try and get a bit of possession back here. Tearmann are struggling. But you talked about a man of the match. I think, to be fair, Shane O'Donnell has been influential. That's him on the ball again there. He has just been the key player for St. Eunice this afternoon. He's been all over and covered every blade here at the Burn off the pitch.
Yeah, so much of the ball goes through him, doesn't it, Maureen? That's what it's all about. He kind of dictates the momentum of the attacks. He dictates where the ball's going to go, and again, so patient, so confident in possession as well, and he just makes things tick.
Yeah, he absolutely does. He's definitely a key to the St. Eunice success as well. He's very, very patient, and everything goes through him. He's on the assist for nearly all of their scores. So
Glenfin look to be on their way to victory against Ardra. 15 to 15 points. Well, they are on their way to victory against Ardra because it must be almost over at Park T-Voiga as a long range effort comes in from Shane O'Donnell. Owen O'Connor with 4 of their goals. That's some performance, and that's a big result because remember we were mentioning about how Glenfin needed to win by a certain amount of points if they're to be ahead of Ardra on the table. There's the way this system works. If three teams are level on the same number of points at the end, then the scoring average comes into play. If 2 teams are level on the same amount of points, it's head to head. But all that perhaps can be worked out once we get confirmation of the full times from elsewhere tonight. Remember, there's more games tomorrow in the senior championship. Full time result coming in from Ballyshannon as well. Arua 3 goals and 12 points. Killybegs 4 goals and 12 points. So just a goal in it at the finish down there. Despite their best efforts, Arua end their group campaign with nothing to show for all their efforts. You did say that they played well down in Gweedore as well, and they've just come up short tonight against Killybegs. So looks as if there can be wins for St. Noel's, for Glenfin and for Killybegs, and that'll make the league table very interesting reading later on tonight when we manage to get those full times confirmed and we can work out just exactly what's happening in those other games. Of course, tomorrow in the senior championship, all the matches tomorrow throw in at 4 o'clock. Sean McCool's against Gweedore, Dunlow against Four Masters, Niamh Connell against St. Michael's, and Kilcar against Glenswilly. And you can watch the games between Kilcar and Glenswilly and Sean McCool's and Gweedore on Donegal GATV as Tearmann try to mount a late attack. Ball played across the face of goal, but nobody there, and Sean Patton.
Just very easy for Sean Patton. There was absolutely nobody in there. Look, a last ditch effort possibly by Tearmann here.
Yeah, because the free has been brought back, hasn't it? So even though they're in injury time at the end of this contest, Tearmann are just trying to find a late score. They're trailing 3-12 to 114. That's 21 points to 17. 4 points the difference.
Yeah, and look, I was looking up the bookies odds there this evening as well. And Tearmann, I think the odds were all in favour of St. Eunice winning anyway. I think Tearmann had about a 23% chance this afternoon, and possibly everyone you would have talked to anyway would have said that St. Eunice would have had the upper hand here this evening. But
free from Jack Alcorn. Well, he had to kind of drop it in short, didn't he, if it was going to work into a goal. The referee is blown for over-carrying against the St. Eunice defender.
Very, very close to goal here.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I think that was Keelan Ward. Again, it's very, very hard to see in there because it has got really, really dark here tonight at the Burn Road. The lights are on in the club rooms. Dara McDaid has got the ball in his hands. St Eunan's have got...
They really need the goal, but there's very little room in there on the line. St Eunan's just a sea of yellow jerseys in there.
And even at that, a goal might not be enough at this late stage. Here's Darren McDaid. Well, he pops it over the bar. So he's thinking that there's going to be enough time left to work another attack perhaps and get a goal. Maureen.
I don't know, I make it 5 minutes into injury time here now.
It's Darren McDaid with a free from the hands. Missed a couple of frees at the start of the second half. Now they weren't easy frees, in fairness to him. He kicked a couple of great scores in the first half. St Eunan's 3-12, that's 21 points. Tearmann 1 goal and 15. As far as we know, St Naomh's have won tonight.
Yeah.
Glenfin have won tonight, and Killybegs have won tonight, all in the senior championship. Kieran Tobin is close at hand to pick up the loose ball. And well, there goes the full-time whistle from Enda McFeely, and that brings an end to a hugely enjoyable contest here at the Burn Road in Tearmann. Perhaps St Eunan's comfortable in the second half once they got those early scores after the turnaround to move in front and just opened up a bit of an advantage. The Tearmann were always going to be struggling to close in again, Maureen. You got to give Tearmann credit. They hung on there, they hung in the game, they stayed on the coattails of St Eunan's, but in the end St Eunan's had done enough to win by 3 points, 3 goals and 12 to 115.
Yeah, St Eunan's definitely did enough in the end. But hey, listen, a huge credit to Tearmann there. Look, if Darren McDaid had got those 2 scores, probably there's probably only 1 point between them. But I do feel that the one was probably a big factor down here at the Burn Road this afternoon and swaying things in both halves, but look, St Eunan's, as I say, a lot of people would have believed that St Eunan's would have come down here and taken Tearmann maybe at a cricket score, and it wasn't the case. And look, a big effort from the Tearmann lads here at the Burn Road. They kept well in it. Unfortunate luck, three points. I felt it wasn't a big scoring difference for to be playing the county champions of last year.
Well, Tearmann will find out between tonight and tomorrow how things will fare in terms of their league standings, where they're going to end up on the table. We might be able to bring you some news on that before we finish up tonight. Remember, there's a full programme of games in the Intermediate Championship tomorrow, 2 o'clock throw-ins for the games there. There's Junior A Championship action, Junior B Championship action, matches too in the Donegal LGFA Championship at the various levels, and those Senior Championship games tomorrow, remember, they all throw in at 4 o'clock. We'll be back with some reaction and more analysis shortly, but for now, here at the Burn Road, we'll say good evening, where it's finished. St Eunan's 3 goals and 12 points, Tearmann 1 goal and 15 points. We get an effort in on goal. They're coming in the form of Patrick Fagan. There's a ball popped over the bar. That's the opening score. St Eunan's have plenty of men back there, but Tearmann managed to retain possession. They did ever so well to do so. Ball shot comes in from John James Sweeney, and the white flag here in Moore goes on a bit of a pacey run. This time the ball's played back, and that looks a good enough effort. It's a shot comes in from Owen Winston, and that's a man outside of Conor O'Donnell Senior. Comes out to close down John James Sweeney, but John James Sweeney gets on his left foot. That's a good looking score from John James Sweeney. That's his second point of the evening. Just be careful with the challenge. Again, there's a questionable tackle comes in this time on Aaron Reid, but the referee says that's okay. There's a shot comes in, and that's a shot that's up and over the bar. And they're quick to get on with it. Kieran Tobin takes a lovely line ball into his chest, and he's up in support. Is he going to get a shot away? Tobin decides to go to McGeehan. Shot comes in, and it's dropped short, and the goalkeeper just about. Well, no, the umpire has gone for the green. Had he been watching, he might have actually been able to intercept that pass up from Gallagher. Here's a shot comes in from Darren McDaid, and that one over
to stay ahead.
Darren McDaid is going to kick this one from his hands. Yeah, that's okay. That's over the bar. Going to go past Jack Alcorn. He's saying, was I not held back? He questions the referee, but Conor O'Donnell Senior has the ball outside of his right foot. The umpire likes it. Conor O'Donnell Senior, and he's going to have an effort on goal, and that's a well-taken score from Ricky Gallagher. So there's a situation, Maureen. That's a 2-pointer on this occasion, by the way. So Conor O'Donnell has stolen possession, and St Eunan's all of a sudden are on the attack themselves. Now, can they make it count? Because O'Donnell worked so hard to win the ball back. St Eunan's need to make this count. There's a ball fed into McGeehan. Goal chance, back of the net.
Here now at the minute, so like.
Here's a free comes in from Darren McDaid, and this that's a 2-pointer. That's a 2. Maureen into this stiff breeze, but here comes Conor O'Donnell Jr. wearing number 13. It's a good strike. He likes it straight away. In this opening half, ball from Oisín Harkin out to this near side to John James Sweeney, goes past his man too easily, and that's hand fisted over the bar.
They've been going low and hard, so they really haven't been hitting any sky high balls.
There's Owen McGeehan. Shot comes in from Owen McGeehan. Ball over the bar. Over to this near side to Jack Alcorn. Ian over on this near touchline, just in an area of the pitch where we're kind of obstructed from the view there. But here's Alcorn again. Now all of a sudden things open up in front of him. Goal opportunity for Alcorn. Goes round the goalkeeper and finishes to the back.
The worrying thing for St. Eunice, and we talked about Tearmann not really having a goal opportunity, but they just walked it in that time, Dermot.
Conor O'Donnell Senior trying to work a response for St. Eunice. An effort comes in. The goalkeeper has to be careful, and it's in the net from St. Eunice. To shoot, he'll let the efforts go on goal. But I know here's Conor O'Donnell Senior. This time he has a pop. How do we look? Happy with the shot, and this time get an effort on goal here, but he decides to go to Conor O'Donnell Jr. Goes past his man off his left foot, likes it. Shot comes in, and that's up and over the crossbar. So Conor O'Donnell under a wee bit of pressure. Oisín Harkin loses possession. Tackle came in from Conor O'Donnell Jr. and St. Eunice will try and make this one count. Yeah, there you go. That's how you do it, over the bar from goal. Trying to close him down and make sure that he doesn't. Kevin McGetting was there. There comes Kieran Moore. Likes the look of it again. And it's another score for Kieran Moore. In fairness, we've been well looked after this evening, and fantastic venue with the new club rooms down here. It's a real credit to everybody involved, and that's a good score. Arndini there did ever so well to set things going in terms of this attack for St. Eunice. So here's Gallagher, has an effort on goal. That's a well taken score from the Tearmann down the left hand side. They really need to engineer an effort on goal. Good ball in. There's an opportunity perhaps, and it's well, it was a goal opportunity just for a second. Alcorn this time. Kieran Tobin comes out and challenges him, so Alcorn has to decide against having a pop and goal, but they will have an effort here, and that's a score. It's 4-12, so Killybegs still in front in that game as St. Eunice come forward. That's an opportunity for McGeehan, and he's not going to make any mistake.
Eunice just a sea of yellow jerseys in there,
and even at that, a goal might not be enough at this late stage. Here's Darren McDaid. Well, he pops it over the bar.
At Michael Murphy Sports and Leisure, we cater for everyone, from top sporting athletes to relaxed casual sporting individuals and everyone in between. We also provide a large range of teamwear services and cater for schools and clubs. Orders can be customised to your specification to suit your individual needs. From clothing to equipment, we've got you covered.
Yeah, and you're welcome back to the Burn Road in Tearmann, where it's finished. St Eunan's 3 goals and 12 points, Tearmann 1 goal and 15 points. Another high-scoring game, and Keelan Ward, the St Eunan's defender, joins me now. Keelan, close contest in the end. Perhaps the goal just before half-time for St Eunan's, that was their 3rd goal, all 3 goals coming in the first half. It was a very important score when you look back.
Yeah, I think the conditions that we were facing into in the first half, we were probably delighted that we were able to get, it was a 3-4, 3-5 on the board, and we knew them that their 2-point threats and stuff like that. We'd have to try and keep them within bay until we got to half time, and I think we went in a point behind, so we were happy enough with that because we knew we had the win in our backs in the second half, and we were able then to take points at our leisure and work at the score. So all in all, yeah, a great first half in terms of how we stuck in the game, and then we kind of carried that through in the second half, and we drove on then, and thankfully we picked up the 2 points to put us on to 6 now in the league table.
Yeah, and at the start of the second half, it was important that you started strong. You did. Conor Donald Senior got on the scoreboard, Conor Donald Junior, a couple of scores from Kieran Moore. You were trailing at half time, but you very quickly got in front.
Yeah, so I think when the second half started, we had a man up for maybe 4 or 5 minutes, so we spoke about that at half time, about going after the first 5 minutes and as a man up, just to try and get into the lead, and then obviously to put ourselves in a position to go on and win the game. So we're delighted with the first half in terms of the boys that you said there that scored, and it was a great game. In fairness, Tearmann were fighting for the life there towards the end in terms of what they need in the league table, so it made for an exciting finish. The last 15 minutes there came down to the wire, and lucky and thankfully we came out with a 3-point win. And
a big crowd here, great atmosphere, wasn't it? Real championship feel to it, and especially in the second half, Keelan.
Yeah, we're not that far away from each other, and the nature of what Tearmann are doing there in terms of the Gaeltacht and Division 1, they're an up and coming team, so we're under no illusions of what we're going to face here today, coming down to the Burn Road, and that was noticeable in the crowd as well. They were anticipating a good game, and I think both teams delivered on that, and made it exciting. So we're delighted we're going up the road now with 2 points, and we can look forward to tomorrow's games and see what that throws out to us.
Yeah, it's a case of job done for St Eunan's, but you did know tonight, Keelan, that you wouldn't really know how things would be in terms of the league table until after those fixtures tomorrow, so you'll be watching those results very closely.
Yeah, so obviously our first and foremost focus tonight was just winning the game, and we'll worry about what happens after that in terms of the score difference or points difference and stuff, but we just came here today to do a job. We used the 2 weeks pretty well there, the gap in between, which was probably needed, after the first 3 games, just to allow us to take stock of where we were and reset and focus on this now, and then whatever happens, if we're out next weekend or we have a 2-week break, we'll just deal with it, when the time comes after all the games we've played tomorrow.
Yeah, okay then, so a 3-point victory for St Eunan's, and that scoreline, the actual score difference between the two sides tonight is going to be very, very important in the end, as far as we know, and judging by the reaction of the Tearmann management and their players. They were in their huddle after the game. They probably have got the word that they could be okay in terms of score and average. A lot of teams ending up in 2 points down at the bottom end of the table, but that'll all be confirmed later on tonight. But as it stands, St Eunan's have managed to come away from the Burn Road with an important victory, a 3-point victory in the end, where it's finished St Eunan's 3 goals and 12 points, Tearmann 1 goal and 15 points.
At Michael Murphy Sports and Leisure, we cater for everyone, from top sporting athletes to relaxed casual sporting individuals and everyone in between. We also provide a large range of teamwear services and cater for schools and clubs. Orders can be customised to your specification to suit your individual needs. From clothing to equipment, we've got you covered.